Now, picking up where we left off at, I said for this equation here, this system of equations, that we would use the substitution method because this equation was already set up in that form. So we will find the y value in the second equation and substitute 3x minus 2 in its place. So we have 15x minus 5 times 3x minus 2 is equal to 10. So we have 15x minus 15x plus 10 equals 10. These 15x's will simplify out, and we will be left with 10 equals 10. Whenever you have a number equal to itself, the answer is infinitely many solutions. And that is your final answer. Now we move on to the next page. We have linear systems having no solution or infinitely many solutions. If both variables are eliminated when solving a system of equations by substitution or addition, one of the following is true. Number 1, there is no solution if the resulting statement is false. 2, there are infinitely many solutions if the resulting statement is true. Now, modeling with system of equations, making money, and losing it. There are several real-world applications that can be modeled with system of equations. Revenue and cost functions. A company produces and sells X units of a product. Its revenue is the money generated by selling X units of the product. Its cost is the cost of producing X units of the product. We have the revenue function. R of X equals price per unit sold times X. The cost function is C of X equals fixed cost plus cost per unit produced times X. Now we have the break-even point. The point of intersection of the graphs of the revenue and cost functions is called the break-even point. The x-coordinate of the point tells us the number of units that a company must produce and sell so that the money coming in, the revenue, is equal to the money going out, the cost. The y-coordinate of the break-even point tells us the amount of money coming in and going out. The profit function. The profit P of X generated after producing and selling X units of a product is given by the profit function. P of X is equal to R of X minus C of X, where R and C are the revenue and cost respectively. Now we have an example. A company is planning to manufacture radically different wheelchairs. Fixed cost will be $500,000 and it will cost $400 to produce each wheelchair. Each wheelchair will be sold for $600. Write the cost function C of producing X wheelchairs. So we will have C of X is equal to the fixed cost minus the cost per unit produced, and of course that's times X. I ran out of a little room here, so it'll be a parenthesis times X. Now what we're going to do is substitute. The fixed cost is $500,000 minus the cost per unit produced is $400, and then it'll be times X, because remember this is times X. Now it says write the cost function C of X of producing X wheelchairs, which we have here. It's 500,000 minus 400 times X. It says write the revenue function R from the sale of X wheelchairs. So we will have R of X is equal to, now each wheelchair is sold for $600. So we will have price per unit sold times X. Now the price per unit sold we see is $600. And that'll be multiplied by X. So it'll be R of X is equal to $600 times X. Now, of course, let me just write this in. We could have it as R of X is equal to $600 X without the multiplication sign. And we can go back up here and write the C of X as $500,000 minus $400 X without the multiplication sign. Now it says determine a break-even point. Describe what that means. Now, the break-even point is when you have the cost function, C of X, is equal to the revenue function, R of X. Now we can substitute those values in. C of X, we have here, we know it's the fixed cost minus the cost per unit, which would be $500,000 minus 400x, that's $400 x, is equal to the revenue function, which would be $600 times x. Now we will solve this. We will add $400 x on both sides. We will have $500,000 is equal to $600 x plus $400 x is $1,000 x. Now we'll divide each side by 1,000. We're trying to get x by itself. And what we will have here, 500,000 divided by 1,000 is 500. It's equal to x. So basically what this is saying is if you have 500 for x, then that would be your break-even point, which means that your profit would be 0. That is your 0 point where you finally covered all of the costs by selling the item. So you can write if 500 units are sold and produced, this gives us our break-even point. Okay, now it says write the profit function C of producing X wheelchairs. Now remember, profit function is actually P. So now what we need to do is write the profit function. So it's P of X equals R of X minus C of X. So we have P of X is equal to, now we substitute in the values for R of X, which is $600 X, minus C of X, which would be $500,000 minus $400 X. Now, we want to simplify this as much as possible. So we have P of X is equal to $600 X. We have to change the sign of everything inside of this parenthesis. So we have minus $500,000. Then this will become plus 400x. So we will have P of X is equal to $1,000 X minus $500,000. And this is the profit function. And this is the final answer. And we are done.